Hello and greetings from RPGmodsFan. I have broken up my walkthrough, review, and discussion of the D&D B6 The Veiled Society module into 3 parts. This is the third and last part. I would suggest watching the first 2 parts before watching this video. In this video, I will go over the module's maps and give my closing remarks about the module itself. Hence, this video is appropriate for Dungeon Masters only, and there will be spoilers ahead. As FYI, I will combine the 3 parts into one video and release it.
I will now walk through the module's various maps. The module's adventure mostly takes place in the city, and there are hardly any dungeon maps. In other words, this adventure is not a dungeon crawl. The first few maps of the B6 module are of the city of Specularum. Since it is impossible to map every building of the city and to detail out every NPC living in it, the module states, to allow the player characters to describe the places they want to visit, and the dungeon master can, with a little modification, place it on the city map. The next map is of the city streets, right after the city gate the adventuring party has entered from, and where the Festival of Lucor's procession has been halted. The next map is of the dugout tunnels the player characters discover under Widow Faneto's house. Important note, Widow Faneto's cellar is at chamber number 5 on the map and where the player characters start from. At cavern number 3 are 10 kobolds trying to put up a support beam. If the player characters do not help the kobolds, then the support beam slips, causing a cave-in. The main plot hook of the module really starts in chamber number 2. This chamber is the cellar of Fortunato Vorloy's house. Here, the player characters witness 2 hooded veiled society members in the process of burying the body of Lucia Vorloy. The 2 hooded figures are the murderers, Akarios and Zachariah. If they notice the player characters, they then will immediately try to flee. At chamber number 1 are 3 hobgoblins, forcing 3 starving and naked men to dig tunnels. At chamber number 6, 3 zombies burst up from the rubble-covered floor and attack the party. Chamber number 7 is the cellar of Tyranno's guest house. Descending the ladder, the player characters will see a hooded veiled society member. He will flee if he notices the party. The renter of the guest house has left a day earlier, and now a squatter, who is a veiled society member, lives here. Inside the guest house, the following can be found: a near-empty bottle of Truscan Estates wine, a black leather hood with a few strands of red hair in it, and a map of the city with the following buildings marked on it: Tyranno's house, Fortunato Vorloy's house, Rattlebone Inn, Svice Radu's house, and Baron Vorloy's guest house. Map number 4 of the module is used for the Riot Event, where the party needs to choose whether to try to escape or to fight the Duke's men. Map number 5 of the module is used for the Veiled Society's attempt to kidnap Simeon Toronescu. Map number 6 of the module is used for the big finale of the adventure. At this point in the adventure, all the player characters are marked for death by the Veiled Society. The Veiled Society's ambush attempt pathetically starts with a crossbowman firing an arrow at the adventuring party. He will attempt to reload, but will flee as soon as the player characters attack and/or charge him. At point A, 3 bowmen will fire arrows at the party, then will flee. If at any point during the chase, the player characters manage to capture and question one of the fleeing ambushes, they will learn of the secret entrance to the Veiled Society chambers. A killed ambusher will have on his body a message that states, "Be at the Blue Water Mead Hall tonight." At point B, there is a booth, and a bowman will pull down its fabric, creating an obstacle for the player characters to overcome. The streets at point C is very crowded, full of people fleeing from the new riot. Due to the crowd, movement rate is reduced to half. Just as a suggestion, and to add more flavor to the module, have the player characters see the fleeing bowman climb up the side of a building. Hence, from this point forward, the pursuit becomes a rooftop chase. At point D, the fleeing bowmen push a fishmonger's cart down its inclined street in hopes of hitting, or at least slowing down the pursuing player characters. Point E is a dead-end alley. Here, there is a secret entrance to the chambers of the Veiled Society, where the fleeing bowmen will duck into. Guarding the dead-end alley and the secret entrance is a giant human barbarian wielding a two-handed sword. I wonder if I can single-handedly take on and put down this brute. Chamber number 1 is the common area of the Blue Water Mead Hall. The tavern is a bright, clean building. Inside are several sailors singing sea shanties. Near the back sits a red-haired man who is Icarios. If the player characters approach him, he flees. If captured and threatened, he admits to murdering Lucia on the orders of the Veiled Society. Also, the back wall has 2 curtained doorways. One that leads to a hallway, the other leads to the kitchen. In the hallway are 2 guards. One is a 3rd-level fighter, the other is a 3rd-level cleric. The back door of the hallway leads back out into the streets. A secret door in the hallway leads to chamber number 3. This small room is a closet that Veiled Society members use to put on their hoods before entering into the chambers of the Veiled Society, which is accessed by a secret door at the back wall of the closet. The passageway that leads to chamber number 5 has the module's only new monster, which is a plant called a siren flower. Chamber number 5 is the Veiled Society's meeting chamber. Here, there are 20 hooded men gathered. Antonio Radu is leading the meeting. Unless the party intervenes, the next event will be Antonio accusing Zachariah of being a traitor and has him slain. Chamber number 7 is a cell. Imprisoned here is Estache, who is a member of the Duke's Elving Guard. His main purpose is to be an exposition dump. He will plug in any missing information the player characters have not learned about during the course of their adventure. Chamber number 8 is a secret chamber used only by the Radu family. On the floor is a dead old man. Cartha Radu has just killed his brother, Anton. Svice Radu, son of Anton, is also here. He is being threatened at sword point by Cartha. Also in the room are documents that provide a complete account of the Radu families and of the Veiled Society's actions and activities. Essentially, the module finale is when the adventurers find and explore the Veiled Society's hideout. How does the module conclude? Well, that depends on the player characters. Will they tell their tale of the Veiled Society to the Duke? Or to the Toronescu family? Or to the Vorloy family? Or will they try to usurp the control of the Veiled Society from the Radu family? Basically, the end is open-ended enough that the player characters could end up joining the Veiled Society or exposing it, giving rise to several further adventure possibilities. Okay, so, back to you, RPGmodsFan.
Roll credits. Displayed are the credits found within the module itself. The good thing about the B6 module is that it presents a mystery immediately that arises from regular adventuring activities. However, the module's writing is somewhat disorganized. My main criticism of the adventure would be that it is a railroad adventure. However, as you play the adventure, listen to your players and be ready to go off the rails. If they want to go on a shopping spree, allow them to. And at the same time, introduce a side quest or 2. Thus, the adventure will become more immersive. Despite its bare-bones structure, a dungeon master can make this into an excellent adventure by filling it with more details, characters, background, side stories, and side quests. If you have any ideas on how to make this adventure even better, please share them in the comments section below.